And we know that communication will benefit decision accuracy. So I think when we talk about adequacy versus accuracy, we kind of think of that as a sort of like binary scale. And actually what we know is that you can have adequate decisions and actually promote decision-making accuracy. So some wonderful like research in this area looked at interactor officials always inviting these accusations of bias. Now, when this inevitably happens, as it will do, we know that this can affect decision making. So for instance, I interviewed one FIFA and UEFA listed official. This particular official has taken charge of games at the World Cup, European Championships, Champions League. So a very experienced match day official. And he informed me that I think if the referee is giving free kicks and the home crowd, if it's going against the home team, will often vocally show their displeasure. Then if there's another free kick against the home team, the pressure builds and builds and builds. I liken it to a cricket match and there's an LBW appeal and the umpire says no, then there's another LBW appeal and the same over, the umpire says no again. And the players are getting a little bit fractious and the crowd are too, then the third appeal might be no again, but sooner or later you'd think that pressure will build to the point where he's wanting to show he's fair-minded. So this is kind of relates to this wonderful kind of notion of decision-making like threshold. Essentially, like we all kind of have this level where we can tolerate this pressure. And then sooner or later, we might go, okay, well, I kind of want to give someone something here. And this might argue why decision-making accuracy in the last 50 minutes of Aussie Rules Football League games actually decreases, because people don't want to be seen as biased or the person that cost the game. And there's some other kind of like wonderful examples of this, which I will illustrate later on. One would look at basketball officials, for instance, feeling that if the home crowd are getting a little bit kind of fractious about the refereeing decisions or feel that the referee isn't giving them enough, then they will deliberately seek out kind of soft opportunities to award something for the home team, just to kind of balance it out, but trying not to impact the outcome of the game. Essentially, this talks about, when we relate this to communication, of course, it says that communication should be used to gain acceptance of your decisions. Why do we want to do that? So it's not about trying to make inaccurate decisions. It's about, look, the decision's been made and you might not like it, but I need you to accept it. Gillett sort of makes a big point of saying that the captain of the opposing team, where he awards a goal, is like, he's accepted this now. So he's done a good job of presenting that. He's done a good job of communicating that decision. And by doing that, he's actually kind of resisting a breach of that threshold that's going to shift him from accuracy to adequacy. And this relates back to this preference maximization. So what's our preference as an official? Our preference is to make accurate decisions always, but also to have the players accept those decisions. And this is where I think communication is an undervalued avenue.